So, woke talk show host Whoopi Goldberg, right? She's getting a lot of heat right now because she went off on Trump supporters not once, but many times on her show, The View. And what it all boils down to is F Donald Trump, F his supporters. In fact, what insiders at ABC The View have to say after, following Donald Trump's major victory, it's going to shock you guys. Don't worry. We're going to get to that in just a second. But what we're hearing right now about a bakery owner being attacked in Staten Island, New York, who alleges that Whoopi Goldberg took advantage of her platform on ABC The View to go off on the 145-year-old Holterman Bakery in New York. Watch.
And I think the bottom line here is after we're going to call up Jill, who has had to endure something that she shouldn't have to endure. These people are up at 3 or 4 o'clock every morning, and they're still here and they're still strong, and they're not going anywhere despite what other people on television have to say. And frankly, the people who defamed the Holterman family.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What? Oh.
Should apologize to the Holterman family for making stuff up to suit their needs.
The place that made these refused to make them for me. Can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics.
Yeah.
Not everybody wakes up every day and thinks about politics.
It's a community that I have to tell you, I'm so overwhelmed by the support between finding out yesterday this even happened. The support has been so overwhelming, and I know how hard my family has worked to keep this business alive, and I wish my father was here today to see this.
So what did Whoopi Goldberg try to do to this woman in her bakery? Watch.
The place that made these refused to make them for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What? Oh.
No. Let me explain. They said that their ovens had gone down, all kinds of stuff, but folks went and got them anyway, which is why I'm not telling you who made them. But can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics.
Yeah.
And just a little background for those who know, they had a boiler here. Again, it's been here 145 years. They had a boiler that was 60 or 70 years old. And the first week in November, guess what? It went on the fritz. They had to be replaced. And the reputation of Holterman's is impeccable. So rather than commit to something they couldn't guarantee, they said we can't do it.
Isn't this crazy, guys? So, and check this out. So NYC Polls demands Whoopi Goldberg apologize for false Staten Island bakery slam as stores flooded with orders. And they go on to say Staten Island leaders demanded Whoopi Goldberg apologize for falsely claiming a Big Apple bakery refused to serve her sweet treats because of her lefty politics as the family-run business was inundated with orders. Wow, guys. So, I mean, there's so many examples of the folks on The View just kind of losing it. And these people are like really just off kilter at this point, right? I mean, why do they think that the world revolves around them? I mean, this is clearly what Whoopi Goldberg thinks. She must think the world revolves around her just because it's her birthday and she demanded some treats from a bakery who apparently had some kind of issue with one of their pieces of equipment that was like 100 years old or something like that. So what do you expect them to do? They don't want to guarantee you sweet treats and bakery, I don't know, cakes or danishes or whatever the heck she ordered if they can't be sure that they can provide it. I mean, as simple as that. So it goes on to say here that The View co-host sparked widespread outrage this week when she alleged that the beloved 145-year-old Holterman's Bakery on Staten Island declined to make her a batch of Charlotte Russe desserts due to her political beliefs. Wow. So if it isn't race politics, it's now just politics in and of itself. Oh, because she's a Democrat, you don't want to serve me. You know what I mean? Like on one breath, they're constantly with the racist statements, and now they're claiming that they're not being served because of their own political beliefs. Unbelievable, guys. Unfreaking believable. And so, so if they're not attacking Trump supporters, they're attacking businesses that may actually support Trump for all we know. But recently, somebody actually took to the national airwaves and defamed, frankly, this family business, end quote. This actually came from Borough President Vito Fossella, fumed at news conference held outside the bakery on Friday. Now, me personally, all of this negative publicity that has come from Whoopi Goldberg, The View, regarding this particular bakery in Staten Island, I mean, would you look at this freaking cupcake? I want to try that now. So, and let me ask you guys: do you think that this family, that this woman, that this business owner, that they deserve an apology from Whoopi Goldberg? Y'all let me know in the comment section down below, guys. I want to hear from you guys. Quote: "We're here to stand up for the family." For one of the best families and businesses, not just in Staten Island, but in the country. Frankly, the people who defamed the Holterman family should apologize for making up stuff to suit their needs. Not everybody wakes up every day, thinks about politics, he added. That's really messed up. Like The View, on ABC, they've got massive reach. And to take out your grievances on this small business owner, family owned, guys, family owned. That's not even fair, is it? I mean, that's not cool. It says here that the bakery has insisted that they were having mechanical issues with their 60-year-old boiler when Goldberg initially tried to place the November 13th order so she could celebrate her 69th birthday on air, and that her political beliefs had nothing to do with it. I mean, this is what they're saying, guys. They're saying that Whoopi Goldberg's political beliefs had nothing to do with this. So is it, Whoopi, are you so conceited that you just think that the world revolves around you? I mean, is that what it is? I mean, if it is, I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. But some things happen outside of your orbit, believe it or not. Some companies have equipment that fails. Now, in the wake of Whoopi Goldberg's disparaging remarks, owner Jill Holterman said that they've been flooded with orders from across the country. Heck, I'm about to place an order right now. Did you guys see those cupcakes? I'm serious, guys. I am so serious. I'm overwhelmed. Holderman told the Post, "I'm so happy to have the support." Guys, I mean, would you look at this? Would you look at this? Oh my god. Oh man. I'm gonna have to swing by this bakery. I'm not kidding, guys. I'm not kidding. Quote: "We had one day that's donating 100. Let's see. We had one today that's donating $150 worth of donuts, adding that the treats were being sent over to St. Petersburg's Boys High School for a football game." Oh, that's amazing. And they did say that they deliver. So I may have to drop a link for you guys so you could place an order from Holterman's Bakery.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President and Donald, congratulations. And looking forward to having, like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. It's good. Welcome.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much. And politics is tough. And it's, in many cases, not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate very much a transition that's so smooth. It'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate it.
Wow. So President Trump, or I should say President-elect Donald Trump, I have to get used to not saying former President Donald Trump anymore, meets with President Biden at the White House. And we're being promised that this will be a smooth transition of power. President-elect Trump has already selected multiple members for his cabinet, including new border czar Tom Homan. But what we are witnessing here today, guys, on November 13th, 2024, is Donald Trump and President Joe Biden shaking hands in the White House during this, let's just call it the intermission between presidential successors. Watch.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
First, the latest on President-elect Trump. He left Mar-a-Lago moments ago. You see it right there as he heads to the White House this morning to meet with President Biden, then to Capitol Hill. He's also announced nominees for top positions in his administration, including Defense Secretary and CIA Director, also a role for Elon Musk. Rachel Scott starts us off on Capitol Hill. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. President-elect Donald Trump won this election just a week ago, but he is already moving at a rapid pace to fill out his administration, announcing 14 appointments already, 9 alone yesterday. But it's his pick for Secretary of Defense that caught even some Republicans here on Capitol Hill by surprise. Overnight, President-elect Donald Trump stacking his administration with staunch loyalists, announcing a string of appointments. Trump revealing he has selected Fox and Friends weekend host Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary, the pick even catching some Republicans off guard. The U.S. Army veteran, who has led 2 conservative veterans groups, would oversee the Pentagon and 1.3 million active duty troops. Hegseth just days ago said he doesn't believe women should be in combat roles.
I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective, hasn't made us more lethal, has made fighting more complicated.
He has no government experience, but has been a staunch Trump loyalist. Hegseth called on Trump to clean house at the Pentagon.
You know, the same argument can be made for Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't have any political background. He was never a politician, but yet he was an amazing president previously. So does it mean that because you have no previous political background that you can't do well at your job? It's almost like any role that anyone has ever been hired for. At some point in time, any person who's in a role had no experience. There's no person who was born with experience. So you have to get it from somewhere. And again, Donald Trump is a great example of a politician who came in at the highest level of office, the highest level in the land, the president of the United States. And he did a phenomenal job, I think.
Blasting its message of diversity as strength as, quote, garbage.
The Pentagon likes to say, our diversity is our strength. What a bunch of garbage. In the military, our diversity is not our strength. Our unity is our strength.
It was just one of many positions Trump named overnight. One of his biggest supporters, billionaire Elon Musk, will lead a new Department of Government Efficiency alongside entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy.
Take over, Eli. Just take
Wow.
Despite the name, the Department of Government Efficiency doesn't currently exist. Trump.
Wow. It might not necessarily exist. The Department of Government Efficiency might not necessarily exist. But in my opinion, this is one branch of government that definitely needs to be added. How many millions, trillions of dollars get wasted every single year, putting Americans further and further into debt as a result of a lack of government constraint, a lack of control over the government purse strings? I mean, it's just unbelievable how much waste takes place every single year. I mean, the government, the United States national debt just continues to tick forward, billions of dollars increase, putting us further and further in the hole at increasing interest rates every single year. It's like our kids, our grandkids, our great grandkids will forever be paying off this national debt if someone doesn't step in to address this. And I think that when you look at what Elon Musk has done with Tesla, when you look at what Elon Musk has done with SpaceX, and just look at what Elon Musk has done with Twitter, now known as X, what Elon Musk tends to like to do, and what we've observed with many of Elon Musk's organizations that he runs. And it's amazing how many multi-billion-dollar corporations Elon Musk runs successfully at the same freaking time is unreal. But one of the strategies that Elon Musk tends to do, and what he's done in the past, is what he'll do is he'll remove many different components to a product or a system to see at which point does the system break. Okay. And what this does is this strategy allows Elon Musk to figure out what components are actually necessary and what components are not necessarily. And they're just adding to the complexity of something and adding to the cost. And then once you identify what those useless components are, then you remove them. And I think this is exactly what we need here in the United States government. We need to identify what are the useless components to government and remove them.
Trump says it will provide advice and guidance from outside of government, but there are still questions about how exactly it would operate or be funded. Musk pitched the idea directly to Trump earlier this year.
I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money is spent in a good way.
I mean, who could argue? And it tends to be the left, because the left has a tendency and a reputation for just squandering money at a ridiculous rate, at a ridiculous clip. But who could argue having a government oversight committee or branch of government, or however you want to label it, whose sole responsibility is to literally say, hey, we just want to go over the balance sheets and make sure that the money being spent is efficient. I mean, look no further than Kamala Harris' most recent campaign. Kamala Harris raised $1 billion for her campaign, yet she somehow overspent $1 billion by like $30 million and still lost the campaign. So not only was her spending inefficient, but it also did not accomplish their goal. When you look at Donald Trump's campaign, he only raised a fraction of what they raised and then had money left over. Donald Trump's campaign only raised around $354 million. They ended up having $20 to $30 million remaining after the election ended, and they won just triumphantly. It wasn't even a close race. He blew her out of the water. I think he beat her by like almost 100 electoral votes, beat her in the popular votes, won Arizona, won Pennsylvania, every one of the swing states with a fraction of the budget. So it definitely, and again, Donald Trump is not a career politician. Here you have another example of a politician who decided, who the American people decided should run the country, with business acumen and without a political background, and pulled it off successfully.
And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love it
if it were formed.
Musk has poured more than $100 million into helping Trump's campaign. And sources tell ABC News he has been at Mar-a-Lago nearly every day since Trump was elected, listening in on calls with foreign leaders and weighing in on staffing decisions. Musk even traveling with the president-elect this morning to Washington, D.C., ahead of Trump's meeting at the White House with President Biden. And as Trump promises to overhaul U.S. intelligence agencies, the president-elect announcing John Ratcliffe, his former director of national intelligence, who served as a fierce loyalist in Congress, will serve as CIA director.
Wow, these are some big moves, guys. These are some huge moves. Comment down below, what do you guys think about Donald Trump's most recent picks? Also, what do you think about Donald Trump selecting Elon Musk to be the government spending oversight party member, so to speak? Let me know in the comments, guys.
And South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem will lead the Department of Homeland Security.
Let's send President Trump back to the White House.
Trump once considered Noem a potential running mate, but she fell off the short list after writing in her memoir that she had shot and killed the family dog. If confirmed, Noem would manage the Secret Service, the Coast Guard, and FEMA, along with immigration agencies like Border Patrol and ICE.
Wow, this is big news, guys. This is huge. And let's not forget about Tom Homan. Tom Homan was recently selected as Donald Trump's newest border czar.
Working hand in hand with Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, to implement Trump's mass deportations.
It is going to be a big operation. And President Trump has already indicated that he wants to start by making sure that we're deporting the most dangerous first.
Wow, guys. Hey, if you haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. Don't forget to check out my previous videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. So I worked in the IT field for years, and luckily I happen to work for a company where we do business with a lot of different vendors. And one of these vendors used to take us out to lunch on a very regular basis. Let's just say like maybe once a month, once every 2 months. But when I say they would take us out to lunch, they would take us out to lunch. I'm talking about they would take us to some of these really fancy restaurants that I would only hear about or I drive past them. But they were very expensive places. And I'll be honest with you guys, I just wasn't in a position where I was willing to pay that kind of money for food. They're very expensive. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, so one day we go to lunch, and right around, it was a late lunch. So right around, I don't know, like 1:30, 2 o'clock, we're leaving and we're waiting for the car to be pulled up because they have mandatory valet. So anyway, while we're waiting for our car to get pulled up, I'm staring at this beautiful black Ferrari 458, and I'm like, wow, this thing is crazy. I don't even get to see those kind of cars often. I don't know if it's just me being a car guy, but I just wonder sometimes, like, how do people afford these things? So after the valet pulls the car up, the owner starts walking towards it, and I just happen to say, hey man, that's a sharp car. So the owner turns around and says to me, thanks, I appreciate it. So then I say to him, since he seemed friendly, I was like, hey, is that your first Ferrari? So he turns around and he says, oh no, I have 6 more, but this is probably one of my favorite ones. I said 6 more? That response sparked a 2-minute conversation that I had with this guy. And let me tell you, what he shared with me in that brief 2-minute conversation completely changed my life. And it's life-changing conversations and lessons like this that I decided to share right inside of our Liberty Pursuit network. And to be honest with you, it really wasn't even so much the car that he was driving. It just made me think to myself, like, how does this guy just have the freedom to be able to live his life the way he did? Nice car, hanging out at a fancy restaurant in the middle of the afternoon. It really made me wonder, how do you do that? Anyway, when I was living paycheck to paycheck, I wish that I knew people like this that would kind of like let me know the inside scoop. So anyway, if you want to join like-minded people just like us, join us over in the Liberty Pursuit Network. I left a link for you guys in the description down below this video.